I was wondering if before we start, I ask you if you feel comfortable talking about your disability, just to spread awareness.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's fine.
Because I heard it and I was like, oh, I've not heard of that before. So I think a lot of people could benefit if they heard more about it.
Yeah, sure. I don't mind talking about it. That's absolutely fine.
Would you want to get started by explaining what it is?
Yeah, so the disability I have is called fibromyalgia, and it's to my understanding, I believe it's a neurological disorder. So basically, I have heightened pain receptors. So almost every single day of my life, I'm feeling pain in some sort of way, but there's no physical evidence of pain being there. So it doesn't show up on scans or in blood tests, but it's all neurological. Um, and it comes hand in hand with lots of other symptoms like fatigue, fog, as they call it. Sorry, where you just forget the most simple things and you do silly inappropriate things. Like one time I tried to put butter inside of my cup of tea instead of milk. Like um, there's lots and lots of things that go hand in hand with it.
Does it usually affect your streaming?
It can do. Yeah, definitely. I found it really hard to stick to a schedule at first. Because the fatigue just sneaks up on you out of nowhere. So there's days where if I'm not in too much pain and I still do want to stream, I'm just too tired to physically do anything. So it can be it can have a negative impact on my streaming for sure.
How often are you streaming now?
5 days a week.
Do you work part-time as well?
No, I just stream. Unfortunately, my disability stops me from doing any physical work, which is a bummer because I spent 6 years studying to be a makeup artist and I had to stop working, but it
I've
is
seen
what
your
it is.
makeup. It is very good.
Well, thank you.
Do you do your own art for your channel as well?
I do, yeah, I do. The only thing that's been designed for me was my actual logo. So I found an artist that did that on Fiverr, which is a really good place to find stuff like that. But all of my panels on my channel and my starting screen and everything like that, they were all done by myself.
And you sell your own like Twitch overlays as well, don't you?
I do, yeah, on Etsy, yeah.
Yeah, they seem really cool.
Thank you.
I love your tattoos as well.
Oh, thanks.
How many do you have now?
Oh gosh. I've lost count. I've had a lot of hours put into my tattoos, that's for sure. You kind of lose count of how many you have and start counting hours at a certain point. But I'd say I've probably had between 50 and 100 hours of work done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how long have you been streaming for?
I'm actually coming up on my 1 year streaming anniversary next month. So on the 3rd of March, I'll be streaming for a year.
Could you just explain what exactly you do on Twitch for the viewers?
Yeah. So I started off streaming games with my friends, really. It was just a way for me to capture fun moments with my friends and be able to look back on it. I remember just the laughs that we had and stuff. And then it turned into me building a community and having fun, just like sitting on, just chatting and talking to people. But I also play PUBG as well with a couple of my friends, which has become I'm a little bit obsessed with the game. I won't even lie. We play it almost every single day. So, but mostly on my channel, it's just I'm really focused on having a safe space for people to feel like they can be themselves without judgment and supporting other people on their journeys as well. That's become my main focus, really.
So would you say that's like your main reason to start streaming?
I would say so. Yeah, yeah.
What was it like when you started streaming?
It was daunting, I will say. I never used to be someone that liked to, you know, be on a camera and speak to other people. Like that was really nerve-wracking for me. But as time went on, it just became like second nature and I got really comfortable with it. And I actually can't imagine not streaming now.
Has it been something that you wanted to do for a while?
Yeah, I thought about it for a good year or so before I actually started doing it. My friends really encouraged it. Um, and I'm glad I did go for it when I did. There seems to have been a big influx of new streamers as well now, which is actually really cool to see.
Do you always want to be a streamer?
I don't know about always, but for the foreseeable, I'd say, yeah. Yeah, I do really like content creation. So,
Would you see yourself streaming in like the next 10 years?
ooh, that's a bit of a far stretch, isn't it? 10 years. um, I suppose if my channel kept on growing, then I'd keep on going for as long as I could. So maybe.
Would you want to like expand onto any other platforms like YouTube?
Yeah, I've been toying with the idea of making YouTube videos the past few months. It's just trying, I feel like the kind of content that goes out onto YouTube is so different to what goes out on Twitch, you know. So trying to think of ideas to put onto YouTube is it's a whole thing. I'll get there eventually, I think.
What is it that you like about Twitch?
Um, I just really like the community. You know, if you find the right side of Twitch, really can meet some amazing people on there. Um, and I've made some friends for life on there, man. It's great. It's a great place to make friends, especially during a time like this where you know you can't really go out and be social. Um, it's a great place to reach out and find new people to become friends with.
What's the best part about streaming?
It's definitely the community for me and getting to know people. You know, I like every single time I get a new person on my streams, I love getting to know them and seeing how different people are. And, you know, I just really, I don't know, I really enjoy getting to know people. I am a people person. So
What would you say is the worst part about streaming?
I would say probably the fact that it's so easy to just compare yourself to everybody else and what they're doing, even if logically you know everybody's journey is completely different and everyone's going to grow at different rates. It's definitely it's hard not to compare yourself to other people.
What do you think it is that makes you different to other streamers?
I think I've got quite a unique perspective on streaming. You know, a lot of people do it obviously for their own personal growth, and something I really try to focus on is being there when like to support other people in their growth, more so my own sometimes. I'm just a big supporter, and I think a lot of people that view my streams can see that. And I try to help as many people as I can in any way that I can as well.
What advice would you give to like other like smaller streamers?
I would say to be yourself, always be yourself, and network your butt off if you really do want to grow on Twitch. There's not a spare moment in my day where I'm not networking, and it really does help. There's lots of different ways you can do it too.
Is there something you wish you did differently?
I really wish I didn't start streaming playing Call of Duty because it's so oversaturated. But at the same time, hindsight's 2020.
Would you say that streaming's changed you in a way?
It definitely has. Yeah, I've got a newfound confidence from streaming. I always had self-esteem issues, but you know, being on camera 5 times a week, and being you know speaking to people all the time, it has helped me gain some confidence back, which is great.
What's your day-to-day life like?
My average day consists of networking. I spend honestly so many hours networking with other people. Um, and honestly, I'm just a big animal lover. I've got 5 animals and I spend most of my day entertaining them, honestly.
I saw your ferrets and they're so cute.
Thank you. They're an absolute terror, but I wouldn't be without them.
I love ferrets. They're so cute, but I don't know anything about them.
They're they're very much like cats. They're just like cats. They play like cats. They have attitudes like cats. But I'd say they're probably a little bit more high maintenance, you know, in terms of their diet and stuff like that. But they're really cool animals. Really cool.
I'm more of a dog person.
Oh, I love dogs too. We've got 2 dogs as well.
We've got 4 chihuahuas.
Four. Oh my God.
They're so noisy. The constant barking.
Yeah, chihuahuas are ones for barking, aren't they?
They're always just full of energy.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
How has the pandemic affected you?
I mean, I already had pre-existing mental health issues. So, you know, being isolated has not it's not been great. But it's I don't know, in a weird kind of way, it's just become life now, you know. I'm just used to the not leaving the house so much and not mad at it really. I don't know. It was a struggle at first, but it's just becoming the new normal now.
How did you deal with it?
Honestly, streaming, and like I game almost every single day with my friends, and that's what's helped the most. I think it's having such a nice community around me that's helped keep me sane.
Do you have any aspirations unrelated to streaming?
I would one day, this is a bit of a far stretch, but one day I'd really like to open like an animal rescue center. If one day I happen to have the funds to do so. I think that's been a big dream of mine for quite a few years now.
What's a question you're asked most often?
That tattoo question's a good one. I do get asked quite a lot how many tattoos I've got.
When did you get your first one?
The day after my 18th birthday. So my dad took me to a really dodgy man in his garage that was tattooing. And obviously my dad wanted to take me for my first tattoo, so I agreed. But looking back, I probably, if I had the choice, I would not go to any kind of studio like that. But the tattoos for my 18th birthday were sentimental nonetheless because my dad's passed away now. So they are tattoos that I hold very close to my heart.
What's something you've never told your viewers before?
That's a really good question. I'm really open with my viewers, to be honest. So a lot of them don't know about my physical disability. It's not something I don't talk about. Like if someone was to ask me about it, I'd happily discuss it. But there's a lot of people in my community that probably don't realize that I have a physical disability.
Yeah, a lot of Twitch streamers are just very open with the viewers, so that question does get very difficult.
Yeah. They become like your best friends, the people in your community. So there's really not much that I don't speak about on stream. But like I said, my physical disability, not a lot of people know the full extent of it. So that's probably the one thing I've not been too open about.
When did you find out you had it?
Um, I've kind of had issues with it my entire life. So I was born with scoliosis, which is a curvature in the spine. And for years and years, I was going back and forth at the hospital for checkups on it. And I was always having pain in other areas of my body, and they just couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And I had MRI scans and X-rays and blood tests, and they just could never find what was wrong. And then I just happened to get a new GP, and it's like he just knew straight away what it was. So I didn't actually get officially diagnosed until I was about 21. So it was only, or 20. Yeah. So it was only 3 or 4 years ago now. But it has been ongoing for most of my life, really.
What are your main plans for the future?
I'd like to move possibly out of England and start a family and have 1,000 animals, really. That's my main goals in life.
Where is it that you want to go?
I'd love to move to Amsterdam or just anywhere in the Netherlands, really. I went on holiday there a few years ago and I just absolutely fell in love with it. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. It was so, so nice. The culture there is amazing. It's like a whole other world there.
What's your main goal when you're streaming?
My main goal when I'm streaming is to just have fun, really. Like Twitch growth isn't something I've really focused on massively. Like I've not been too obsessed with the thought of like reaching partner or whatever, but a big thing for me is having, like I said, that safe space in the community where I have people that come and feel like they have a family on my channel. And that's my main goal when I stream, is to have people feel that way, you know, and have them have fun whilst I'm having fun too.
What's some general advice that you'd want your viewers to know?
My number one thing would be that it's okay not to be okay, you know, because especially at a time right now, a lot of people are really struggling with their mental health. And I just want people to know that they can reach out to me or other people in my community, or, you know, professionals at a time like this, where, you know, they can get help. and to not feel like they're alone.
What's your favorite TV show?
Oh, I'm a big binge watcher, so I have loads.
Oh, same.
I will say I've watched The Vampire Diaries far too many times in the past few years. I'm honestly I'm rewatching it again now for like the 10th time. It just never gets old for me.
Don't think I could do that to myself. It's too emotional.
It is a very emotional show. Like every single time I rewatch it, it's like watching it for the first time all over again. But it's so well done. And I've watched the originals as well quite a few times. Because it's like a spin-off from the Vampire Diaries.
I actually preferred the originals.
I actually did as well. I did. The original vampires are definitely the best ones.
I saw that you're a fan of Drag Race as well.
Oh, I am. I absolutely love Drag Race. I've been a big fan of Drag Race since I actually started studying makeup artistry, which was in 2013. So it's been in my life for a long time now, and I'm a very big fan of it.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite drag queen. That's a tough question. I have quite a few favorites. I really like Monet Exchange.
Oh yeah, she's so talented.
She is. But Trixie and Katya are like the most iconic duo in the world.
It's so funny.
They really are.
Katya's song from All Stars. It's so
the
iconic.
Best. The best.
What was your favorite season?
Oh my God. I don't know. The
I
season
really
that
like
had Adore
Bianca's
Delano
season.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same season, isn't it?
It was so good.
That was a good season. I feel like one season in the future, I feel like Adore Delano is going to come back. Or at least I'm hoping so. There's got to be one time at least that Adore comes back.
I doubt that she'd be up to it after she left on All Stars.
She did leave on All Stars. That's right. I always forget about that.
Yeah, she was barely on it. Are you watching the UK one now?
Yes. Oh my God. The UK Hunt song has been stuck in my head ever since I heard the most recent episode.
I've only watched the first episode. I've not managed to watch the other ones yet, but I've seen that song so many times. It's ridiculous.
It was like a Eurovision challenge that they had, and it was the most Eurovision type song I've ever heard. And it's in typical Eurovision style, gets stuck in your head forever. It's really good.
I actually
also
love
it's really,
Eurovision.
really bad.
I
don't mind it, It's a good laugh to watch Eurovision.
Everyone disses it, but it's so good. It's so good. Entertaining.
It is.
Goes on for ages though.
It does, doesn't it?
I was kind of sad when they cancelled it last year.
I know. COVID's got in the way of so much though. So much.
Wasn't the rumours about a group from Drag Race being on Eurovision?
I think so, I think so. I don't know. I guess we'll never know that now though, unless they go on it next year or this year, should we say, with hope.
I didn't actually watch season 1 of the UK one. I'm only watching the second one.
Oh, of Drag Race UK?
Yeah.
The first season honestly wasn't anywhere near as good as this one. I feel like the talent on this season is like up to par with the American talent now. Not to say that British drag queens aren't great, because they are, but I think the UK's drag style is completely different to the US one. But the contestants on this season are much more American styled.
I've only seen one episode, but wow, they are so funny. Like, the way they joke, it's just completely different to the American version.
I know. It's more amusing as a British person to watch the UK one, because you can kind of catch on to the jokes a lot more, because we have different humor to Americans as well.
I don't really like the way they edit it though. Like, they have those sound effects in the background as if they were having an argument, but they're literally just joking around. It kind of annoys me. That
I agree with that.
Who's your favorite on that season?
On this season, it's probably Lawrence Chaney.
I thought you'd say Bimini, to be honest, because everyone says Bimini.
I know, and I'll be honest, I don't really see why everyone's so obsessed with Bimini. I don't know. It's crazy, but I use TikTok quite a lot, and I do see a lot of people talking about Bimini.
I was kind of surprised when Lawrence didn't win the first main challenge.
I know, I agree with that one. I agree with that one
I was
too.
actually shocked. I was just expecting him to win.
Me too.
It's a really good season though. I'll probably watch the rest of it tonight. I'll just binge
You
watch
have
it.
to. You have to.
I'm running out of things to binge watch, to be honest, though. I feel like I've watched everything on Netflix.
Um, I've watched a hell of a lot on Netflix too, to be fair, but like you just said, I'm running out of things to watch. That's why I'm watching Vampire Diaries yet again. But there's a new, what's it called? I can't remember. Is it called Fate? Something like the Wink Saga
Oh,
or
the Wink
something.
Saga thing.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, I did watch it. I told you I watched everything. Yeah, it was actually decent though. It wasn't bad.
No, I expected it to be really cheesy, but it was actually really good. I'm really into that kind of like fantasy type of show though, so that was right up my street. Also, have you watched Shadowhunters?
I tried to watch it. It just wasn't for me.
Oh man, Shadowhunters is kind of good. I feel like if you get past the first few episodes, it gets better. That's another one I've watched quite a few times over as well. How embarrassing.
I probably only watched the first few episodes, but I thought the acting was just like really cringy. I couldn't do that to myself.
It was a little bit in the beginning, I won't lie. It really was.
If it gets better, then I might give it another go.
I think it gets better personally. I do think it gets better.
Is there a lot of seasons?
I think there's five.
All right, that's okay.
I'm sure there's five. I thought there was going to release another one as well, but it got cancelled.
They cancelled so many shows on Netflix just so they could renew like another season of Riverdale.
I know. I mean, I do like Riverdale as well, but I just think there's so many shows on Netflix that they could have done so many more seasons on, and they obviously cancel it for funding issues or whatever. But like Sabrina, so the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, that was really good, and I feel like they rushed the last season because they cancelled it. It kind of
Personally,
ruined
I
it for
wasn't a
me.
fan of that. I thought that was quite cringy as well.
Did you?
But they also cancelled shows like Atypical and The Society. Have you seen those?
Oh, Atypical got cancelled. I didn't know that.
Yeah, for Riverdale.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. That was such a good show as well.
I was quite mad. They cancelled so many shows.
That's crazy.
Have you heard about the
What?
new season of Riverdale? They did like a time jump. I've not watched it, but it just sounds ridiculous.
So I do watch it every single time a new episode comes out, and this time jump thing, they've gone like 7 years into the future. Like I don't really see how it was quite necessary, but I mean, I think it's the last ever season of Riverdale, isn't it, as well now? I'm
Good.
sure.
I've seen clips of it and it just doesn't make sense. Like, he's going to war on a football field. Like, they've all got big things going on. And like, Veronica's like, I'm married.
Yeah, it is so weird. It is really weird.
And the timeline just doesn't make sense. None of it links up.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. It's just this thing that Netflix seem to do where they rush the last season of everything and it just kind of ruins it, you know?
The first season of Riverdale, I did watch that and it was actually quite good. And then they got into like all like magic stuff, like whatever it was, with that board game. I was like, what is
Oh,
going on?
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
too
I
much.
almost forgot about that. I really thought they were going to do a crossover with Sabrina as well because it's actually filmed like, well, it's set across the river from Riverdale. Sabrina is. And they put the cast members put a picture up together on Instagram. So I thought they were going to do a crossover, but they didn't, which is a little bit of a bummer. That could have been
Netflix are just
good.
not getting it anymore. Like they've got
They're
missed
not.
opportunities and they're just ruining everything.
I know. I know. Completely agree.
I think my favorite things on Netflix would be like adult cartoons. It's definitely
You
more
like
my
Rick and
style.
Morty?
Yeah, have you seen Big Mouth as well? I thought that was
I
quite good.
have. I've seen. How many seasons is there of that now? I know I've seen the first one.
Three or
I'm sure
four,
there's.
something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a little bit behind on that, but I did like the first season. It was good. It was good. I've watched the first season of BoJack Horseman as well, which is quite good.
I love BoJack Horseman. That's like one of the best things I've ever seen. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
They bring up like so many like real life issues in it. but they don't do it in like a bad way. Like they represent it really well, like
I
honestly.
agree. I agree with that.
Like
Definitely
one of
agree.
the characters had depression and they did the whole story with like antidepressants and everything and like weight gain and it was really sad to watch, but it was done so well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like more shows need to address real life stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of times Netflix does like they try to do stuff like that and they just completely miss.
Yeah, I agree.
Have you watched Grey's Anatomy?
I haven't, you know. I don't know why I've never watched that because I'm really into medical shows, but Grey's Anatomy is something I've never watched. I
I
probably should
think you'd
watch
really
that.
like it. Like there's this really sad scene. I won't spoil it, but it like really broke my heart. I had to like stop watching it for like 2 weeks.
Oh my God. Okay, I have to
Basically,
watch it
just
now.
someone died, and it was like my favorite character, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. I did start watching it again, but it's just hard to watch.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
I
I have
think it's
to.
going on to Disney Plus at the end of this month, you
Oh,
know?
is it?
Yeah, they're putting loads of stuff on there. I think it was like the 17th, maybe. Not sure, to be honest. I don't remember.
I'm gonna have to look it up and find it and watch it. There's so many medical shows that I think were really well done, but there was one on Netflix again, another show that got cancelled called The Night Shift, and that was so good.
I don't think I've
Amazing
seen that
show.
one. Is it still on there?
Yeah, it's still on there. It got cancelled. I mean, it ended on a really big cliffhanger as well, which is really annoying. But
Oh,
it's
wow.
about people that served in the army that work as doctors in an ER. It's just the best. It's one of the best medical dramas I think I've watched in a long time.
Definitely give it a go. This episode is just like full of gossip. People are gonna listen to this and be like, what are they going on about?
I'm such a talker as well, so you could bring up literally any topic and I'll just keep going and going.
Honestly, I could go on about TV shows forever. Love them.
Same.
Have you seen Criminal Minds?
I have. I was a big fan of Criminal Minds. I know I'm quite a
So
few
good.
seasons behind now, but Spencer Reid stole my freaking heart. Actually stole my heart.
It's such a good character.
He is.
I love that show. When it ended, I was actually really sad.
I feel like the turn that like the way that they approached doing a criminal show, I feel like was really good. You know, focusing more on the psychology side of it rather than just
Yeah,
finding
definitely.
criminals
I've
and
not really
arresting
seen
them.
anything like that before.
Neither have I. I think it was really good, really well done.
I really like shows of where the episodes are like a different thing.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Have you watched American Horror Story though?
I have, but I am a big fan of it, but there are some seasons I haven't watched. So I'm a big fan of Coven and Hotel. I think they're two really good seasons, but I haven't watched the first season. I know, I've watched a few episodes of it, but I've not finished it. There's another one I haven't watched as well. I can't remember which one it is now, but I don't know why I just never got around to watching him. But I was really obsessed with Coven. I've watched that season quite a few times.
I'd say that Asylum was my favorite.
I don't think I've watched Asylum.
I think it was the second one. The first and the second ones are definitely the best ones.
Maybe I'll go back to watching them and give them a go.
I think the only one I skipped was Roanoke because it was just so boring.
No, I do agree. I watched a few episodes that I didn't like it.
Yeah, I just gave up. If I don't like a show, I'm not even gonna put the effort in. I'm
No, I
just done.
agree. I kind of have to be drawn in really quickly into a show, otherwise I'll give up.
I think I'll try watch the first few episodes because I've ended up finding like shows of like really slow at the beginning, but just
Yeah.
amazing. And you recommend them to other people, and they start watching them like it's rubbish. It's like no, you gotta get into it,
Mm,
put the effort in. But I don't like stuff like that, so it does get boring.
it does.
Have you seen Midnight Gospel?
I haven't. What's that?
It's like an adult cartoon, and it's like really trippy, and each episode is like kind of different. And he's like
Wait,
talking to different characters about like different problems. It is cool, but I get why people wouldn't like it. Like it's definitely like one of the best things I've ever seen, but it's not for everyone. I do get it. Like, it
is it on
can be
Netflix?
boring. Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's made by Netflix.
What's it called again?
Midnight Gospel.
I'm gonna add it to my list right now.
It's animated by the same people that animated Adventure Time.
Oh, I love Adventure Time as well, so that sounds good to me.
I rewatched it like recently. Too emotional. It's so
This
good.
looks good. I'm gonna have to check that out.
So were you a big fan of Cartoon Network shows when you were younger?
I was, and then I moved on to Disney.
Have you watched Steven Universe though?
I haven't
Oh, you
actually.
need to watch it. They had it on Netflix, but they took off like the first few seasons. It is amazing. Like, I know it's a kids show, but it really shouldn't be a kids show. It's just so good. And there's really good songs in it.
There are a lot of shows that should like are titled as kids shows, but they really shouldn't be. I feel like
Yeah, like me rewatching Adventure Time, I don't feel like I'm watching a kids show. Like the storyline gets
100%.
so deep with like Ice King.
I know Ice King's such a. I mean, that is definitely not a kid-friendly character to have in a show.
His story with Marceline breaks my heart.
I know.
I love those two together. I think they've got like a new show where it's just like Marceline and Princess Bubblegum.
Shut up, really?
Yeah, they're like a couple now.
Oh my God.
You didn't know that? They're like together?
No, I didn't know that at all. Oh my God, I feel so out of the loop.
I think there's only like a couple episodes, but they're really, really good.
Where is this? I've never heard about that.
Yeah, but they need to put Adventure Time on Netflix or something.
I'm sure it did used to be on Netflix. It did used to be on there and they took it off.
I don't think so, no.
But I feel like I used to watch it on I did. It was years ago now though. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't in recent years, but then I started watching it on my Amazon Fire Stick on one of them TV show app things you get on them. But I can't find it anywhere else.
Any other questions you want to ask before we finish?
No, I don't think so. I think you've been really good at asking questions for this, actually. You got my brain ticking
Thanks.
a little bit. So why did you start doing podcasts then? What gave you the idea to do it?
I just really enjoy podcasts. So I don't even know what was going through my mind. I was like, I could do that. I thought it'd just be fun for me to do it.
Well, I think actually doing little interviews with like small streamers could be really beneficial for both the streamer and for you, you know.
Yeah, because
I feel
I've
like it could
had
go really
like
well.
different advice and like different stories. And I feel like I'm learning something like every single time.
That's really cool. That's really cool. How many have you done now?
So I've recorded, including this one, 3. I've got 1 posted and I'm posting again on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I'll probably post this episode next week. So I'm trying to go for weekly.
That's really good though. I mean, there'll be so many people that will be up for doing stuff like this. I feel like
I have asked around and most people have said no.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
I was actually really struggling getting people on. And when you said yeah, I was so surprised.
Oh my God, no, I love stuff like this. I was actually quite flattered that you even asked me, honestly.
I just think that people don't really like owe me anything, so why would they just do it like for nothing?
Well, I mean, why not though? I mean, you know, realistically speaking, people love talking about themselves. So having someone say to you, "Oh, do you want to just, do a podcast with me where you can just talk about whatever you want to talk about?" I'd think most people would say yes. So I'm really, really shocked that people have said no to it.
Thank you
You're
for being
most
on the
welcome.
podcast.
Thank you for having me. I've actually really enjoyed it.